Hey everyone, I'm Caroline Shanahan. I decided to do my project on cardiac glycoside, which is the main toxin in oleander. Oleander has been grown for thousands of years. Many ancient civilizations grew oleander, such as the Moors, the Chinese, and the Romans. In ancient Greece, they kept holy forests of oleander. When the plant was in bloom, they would lay the branches with the flowers on the altar for the gods. Oleander is referenced many times in the Bible. In the book of Leviticus, God instructs the Hebrews to bring a leafy branch with them on their journey from the desert to the Promised Land. It is said that the leafy branch could have been one of 3 different plants, and oleander is one of the 3, and the most likely option. Another time oleander is mentioned in the Bible is when the Israelites used the branches of the plant to make temporary shelters in the streets of a city. Oleander has been used in the form of extract to kill insects and rodents for centuries. Today, that practice is still used in developing countries. There are also many medical uses that oleander is good for. The main medical use of oleander extract is to treat heart failure. Cardiac glycosides are the compounds in oleander that not only make the plant toxic, but also make it medicinal. It has been clinically proven that cardiac glycosides are an important factor in treating heart failure. Oleander is a very large plant that produces an explosion of flowers when it blooms. There are different varieties of the plant that produce different colored blooms. The blooms can be white, pink, or yellow. Some varieties also produce a pleasant smell while they are blooming. The plant can get up to 12 feet in height and width. Oleander can be found in wet habitats where they are fully exposed to the sun. Although they are usually found in wet habitats, they grow best in dry soil. They are native to the Mediterranean and are found in coastal areas. They belong to the Apocynaceae family. Cardiac glycosides are made up of a steroid molecule that is attached to a sugar, which is the glycoside, and an R group. The compound consists of 2 structures, the sugar and the non-sugar. The non-sugar is made up of the steroid and the R group. This compound is present not only when the plant is green, but it is also present when the plant is dried. Cardiac glycosides have a strong effect on the human body. The main organ this compound affects is the heart. Cardiac glycosides affect the heart by increasing the output force of the heart, which increases the heart's rate of contractions to increase by acting on the cellular sodium-potassium ATPase pump. It can lead to cardiac toxicity, which causes fatalities. When cardiac glycoside is ingested, the first symptoms usually start with stomach issues, such as nausea, stomach pain, diarrhea, and vomiting. The person usually then becomes lethargic and confused. Oleander was first introduced to the U.S. in 1841. The first one in the U.S. was planted in Galveston, Texas. It is known around the world as the Oleander City. They originally did not think the plant was going to survive in the harsh Texas climate. However, the plant thrived in the humid weather and loved the salt spray. Oleander is actually grown ornamentally in South Carolina. You mainly find it growing in the coastal regions. It is popular in Charleston and Myrtle Beach. Oleander likes the humidity and saltiness of the air, so it is a perfect plant for the coastal areas. Today, cardiac glycosides are used to treat mild to moderate heart failure. As I mentioned earlier, it is proven to be effective. However, the problem is that cardiac glycosides can have the same toxic effects at very small doses that it has at very high doses. For example, there are cases where people have died from eating only 1 yellow oleander seed, and there have been cases where people have eaten 10 of the yellow oleander seeds and it was not fatal. Research is ongoing to better understand why this happens. When oleander is taken as a supplement, it is homeopathic oleander that is ingested. Another issue is that doctors have a hard time diagnosing patients with oleander poisoning because the symptoms are very general. When they do diagnose it, they use digoxin-specific antibody fragments for treatment, which is very costly, and patients can stay in the hospital for multiple days, which is also costly. The issue with the expense is that majority of cases of oleander poisonings are in developing countries with little or no access to health care, so people cannot get the treatment that they need. Another issue is that oleander has become a means of self-harm in Asian countries. People will voluntarily ingest the seeds of the yellow oleander to self-harm or to commit suicide. It is now one of the most common poisons used in self-harm in Asia. In 2002, India called the issue an epidemic because it was becoming so common. Oleander seeds and extracts have also been used to trigger miscarriages and for abortions.